Twisters is out in theaters. By the way, this is an absolutely awful poster. Like, what are those people even looking at? The tornado is behind them. Anyway, it's the latest blockbuster film from director Lee Isaac Chung, who previously made Minari, which makes this quite a jump between these two types of movies. This stars Daisy Edgar-Jones, Glenn Powell, and Anthony Ramos, and is theoretically a sequel to the classic 1996 movie Twister. Theoretically, because there are no returning characters, no mentions of the events of the previous film, no references whatsoever except one small one. The Dorothy device that is used in the opening sequence of this film comes from the old one. But for all purposes, it's pretty much a standalone movie. Could even be treated as a remake, because honestly, functionally speaking, it's almost the same film, to the point that if, like me, you're familiar with Twister, it's gonna just be worse in direct comparison than it would be as a standalone movie. So if you haven't seen the original Twister, and this seems like you might enjoy it, you can check it out without actually going back to see the old one. The structure of both movies is like 80% the same. A former storm chaser is now out of the business and does not want to be back in, but they do get roped back in for just one short mission with their old friends, chasing tornadoes with this scientific crew to get the best data possible. They meet others at a gas station. There's a rival crew that then cuts in front of ours on the road. The scene is exactly the same in both movies. They sort of fail on the first try. There's some romantic tension going on throughout between the main characters. A small local town gets destroyed. They try again. Seriously, there are only two major changes. One, there's a bit of a twist in terms of who's actually the antagonist and who has a heart of gold. But again, if you look at the character archetypes and even physical attributes and then pay attention to the very obvious foreshadowing, the twist is visible from miles away. And the second change is the gender swap. In the original, Bill Paxton was the one who was the reluctant protagonist, and Helen Hunt, the determined, grizzled one already in. And in here, Daisy Edgar-Jones is the reluctant protagonist coming back from her cushy job in New York and meeting Glenn Powell, the tough Arkansas boy. Which hilariously makes the movie essentially a Christmas Hallmark film, if you think about it. Girl from big city comes to her small hometown, meets a handsome guy, reevaluates her life. It's that, but with twisters instead of Christmas. In terms of the action set pieces and tension and special effects, it's okay, but I thought the original Twister was much more visceral and oppressive. Mainly because of its sound design, something that's a bit weaker here. I thought the side characters were also more fun in the old movie, and being actually made in the 1990s, it obviously captured the spirit of the 1990s blockbuster better. And that's not to say that Twisters is a bad film. I think it's an okay, cheesy mix of action-adventure movie and romance that manages to execute what it wants to execute fairly well. It's just that to me, the first Twister is still the superior movie, and if I was to select between the two, I'd choose the first one any day. But if you haven't seen either movie yet, Twisters is a perfectly fine choice as well.